push-ups. This is essentially a hand plank with a chest press. You can do them on your toes or you can do them on your knees. The form's going to be the same through the rest of your body here, which means we're going to keep the nice long plank form from the back of our head through our tailbone. And whether that's whether that straight line's going from our tailbone straight through to our knees, on our knees like this, or if you're on your toes, then that straight line's going to go from the back of your head through to your heels, keeping that nice long line there. Let's check out the rest of our form here. So you're weight bearing a lot on your shoulders. So you want to make sure that your shoulders maintain that space away from the shoulders and the ears. Keep this nice and open, especially when you're at the low point. When you're at the low point of your push-up down there, your shoulders going to want to hunch up and roll towards your ear, but you got to really try and squeeze it down towards that back pocket. However, in this position, we're not trying to keep our shoulder blades retracted back as much as we can, like a lot of rows and pulling exercises, and when we're weight bearing with dumbbells in our arms and hands, we're not trying to do the squeeze back. We're actually trying to now protract our shoulders forward into the floor through our palms. So you're trying to get that protraction still with that depression of the shoulders down towards the hips there. So you're going to prop yourself up there. We'll see. I'm going to start off my knees here. Shoulders are protracting forward through to the floor, keeping that space away from my ears, down towards my hips. And then from there, I'm checking in with the rest of my plank form. Abs are drawn in tight, glutes are engaged, head is back, like doing that little chin tuck to maintain the head being in line with the rest of the spine there, or keeping the neck in line with the rest of the spine there. And then with that plank form held nice and solid, you're just bending your elbows, lowering yourself down, and then pushing yourself back up. And as your elbows bend, we want them to bend at about a 45-degree angle out away from the body. So a tricep push-up will keep your elbows tight. With this push-up, we're trying to actually keep the elbows about a 45-degree angle out away from the body there. If you're doing these on your knees, it's common some people kind of end up in this sort of quadruped position and just sort of lower this down and up. And this is not the form we're trying to dial in here. We really want to try to get those knees back a little bit so the hips can sink down and get right in line with the shoulders and the knees there. Hips should be in line with the shoulders and the knees. All right. If you're on your toes, then you just drop your toes down, lift those knees up, get into that solid plank form, and solid through there. Now, as you press it down and up, you want to try not to let your head protrude forward either. It's a very common imbalance that as people lower down, they kind of want to kiss the floor. As they get kind of closer to it, they're sticking their head out, getting closer. You may not realize you're doing it, but you want to make sure your head stays back through the whole push-up. So keeping that head retracted back even as you lower down. You might have to if you're not used to this and you have the common imbalance of your head protruding forward, this might feel like you're trying to make a double chin as much as you possibly can. When you're down here, you're still trying to make that double chin. Keep that head back, and push up and steady through it. It can be really difficult to understand how to control those muscles, but you will over time, gain more control and get them into alignment in your neck there so your head can more comfortably hold that posture through the whole push-up there. Again, another common misconception with push-ups is while people are doing them, they start to round their back up. Or if you're on your toes, they start to just only lower the chest down a little bit and the hips stay really high. Bring those hips down with you. Hips and chest, everything comes down nice and low, nice together, and then press up and through. Lower down, press everything up and through. So if you can't see yourself with a mirror, set up a camera, film yourself, get a friend or a trainer to watch you, and get this form dialed in so you got that nice plank form lowering all the way down and coming all the way back up through the whole motion. It's a lot to think about, a lot of different points going on here, but if you can really dial in all these points of form, then you can start to apply these points of form into some more dynamic plank and push-up type motions and movements. So take your time with these, do them on your knees. Maybe you've been doing them on your toes for a long time because you felt like you could, and suddenly now some of these points of form are really difficult. It's okay. Just drop down to your knees and start at the top. Hands right underneath the shoulders. Shoulders are protracting forward, pushing through the ground while still squeezing down towards our hips, keeping that space between the shoulders and the ears. Head is back with that chin tuck. Abs are drawn in nice and tight. Glutes are engaged, solid and steady. And then you're either on your knees or your toes, locked solid and steady with that plank as you lower down. Elbows go out at about a 45-degree angle away from your body, pressing back up and through, and then repeat, holding that steady, solid. But this is a very, very common exercise that a lot of people do and most do wrong. So it's okay to step yourself back, reanalyze where you are, start to dial in these finer points of form, and dial in a good solid push-up so that you don't hurt yourself and can actually stay in your fitness program and maybe even try even more cool, fun, dynamic things in your fitness program.